What's up, Gabe?
How's it going, Mr. Banarian?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me on this prestigious podcast.
Yeah. I don't know how we're rolling into this.
You just gotta roll. You just gotta roll with it. Hey guys, we're trying something new, and we're really excited about it. That's where we're at. What are we here to talk about, Gabe?
We are here to talk about Mop Up Michigan. I have some questions about Mop Up Michigan.
It's the greatest. Mop Up Michigan is so great. It's not. It's
So what do the advocates for Mop Up Michigan say that it is?
They're attempting to try to convince voters that this is some hold the utility companies accountable and get their money out of politics. And they're doing it, by the way, exploiting the fact that everybody is getting gouged right now, which is true, on energy costs, thanks to the Democrats in the legislature and in the Public Service Committee from the governor. So they're exploiting people's fears. They're trying to make it about utilities. It has absolutely nothing to do with utilities. It is a political ploy to get Republican-aligned efforts and groups all of that money out of politics while protecting all of the money that the Democrats are funneling into their campaigns. So there are actually carve-outs for Democrat-aligned groups in this proposal. If it's trying to get dark money out of it, why would you have any carve-outs to begin with? So it's completely dishonest.
Okay, and
you got to loosen up, Gabe.
Sorry, I didn't know we were doing this.
I know, neither did I. Excuse me, I didn't know we were doing this either. This is good material. You keep this in.
You're more relaxed naturally than I am.
You know
I'm
what?
Naturally, very stressed out person.
Just let's. Hey, drink some coffee. Drink some coffee. Or some tea.
Okay. So, we'll go to the next question. But if Mop Up Michigan's goal is to get money out of politics, why would there be carve-outs for certain groups?
Well, I mean, this is the game that the left plays, right? They always try to put forward proposals where they promise things that they know, like every normal people don't want dark money in politics. I don't want that in politics, right? But at the end of the day, they are always trying to rig the system to benefit their efforts while trying to make the rules more difficult for their opponents. Like, this is not a case of actually reforming the system. This is a case of making the system even more entrenched for political interest, backroom dealing, only for the Democrats, right? So we see these efforts all over the place. I mean, we saw this with the Michigan Redistricting Commission, right? Who doesn't want independent redistricting? This is a huge conversation everyone's having right now. By the way, the same people behind this proposal. But did we get with that redistricting commission? Well, we got a bunch of independent commissioners who were actually Democrats, and one of them is actually running as a Democrat right now for the state house. So we got that. We also got lawsuits from African-American voters in Detroit who said that the commission violated their constitutional rights, right? And were racially, gerrymandering these districts, and they won in court. The court said, yeah, the independent redistricting commission actually went and, violated their rights. These are the same people that did that are doing this, right? And so you always question why these things that sound so good are actually bad. And it's because these people have made a game out of exploiting people's fears. I come back to that, right? What do you fear most? Big energy companies who are gouging you of all of your money for your energy costs, coming in and buying off politicians who will then continue to raise their energy rates. The fact of the matter is that the legislature doesn't vote on that, right? It's a unelected board appointed by the governor who's increasing rates on people. So it's an unrelated issue. That's a real issue. But they're trying to exploit you, right? They did that with the redistricting thing too, right? All these partisan politicians and partisan people picking our congressional and our state ledge districts. So we'll put an independent commission, and what do we get? A partisan, hyper-partisan commission with people who legitimately lied about their political affiliation, were independent commissioners, and are now candidates on the Democrat side of the aisle running for office. So, it's an exploitive game, and I feel like this is where voters need to be more engaged and more informed, because you get the government and the system you deserve, right? If you're not paying attention to what people are actually trying to do, they'll pull one over on you. And this is one they're going to come close with it. We're going to fight it, right? But voters need to be very cautious.
So speaking of people's fears, why are the Democrats so afraid to just play by the rules?
It's a good question. I mean, I have my personal opinions on that, right? But trying to be objective, I think it's very tempted for people who are weak-willed and have no moral compass to do the wrong thing, to pursue their goals, right? So you just have a lot of people that lack integrity. I think a lot of these people probably think that the ends justify the means and that they're doing the right thing ultimately by rigging the rules. But this is, again, I come back to where voters need to be much better about how they engage in politics and really, hold people accountable. If people are going to act like that, even if you agree, let's say you agree with Mop Up Michigan, right? With your understanding of it, right? But the tactics that they're employing and the way that they're trying to rig the rules against the opposition, you should not support it because it's enabling bad behavior, right? And that's on the voters, right? Like, we want to make it all about these political operatives who carry a lot of the blame, of course, for this broken system, but we vote for these things. We allow ourselves to be duped, right? And so that was a long answer to your question about why we think it happens on that side, but I think that people get very tempted when they get in a position of power to just any means necessary get done what they want to get done. And Republicans aren't immune from it either, right? I like to think the people we work with, I feel very confident that we do the right thing, right? And we don't. There are areas, anybody in any career can violate the rules or violate the law to try to get done what they want to see done, but you have to be better than that, especially with government. It's like the thing that keeps our system of government, big or small government, right, is what holds the fabric of our society together. It's a government of the people. If we elect a government that isn't living up to those values.
Yeah. So going back to what MMOP is promising, you talked a little bit about how Democrats paint this picture and it doesn't really match up with reality.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think that's their MO. I think they do that all the time, right? They say that if you pass the Green New Deal, which the Democrats in the legislature did when they had control fully of the government in 2022, it'll help lower energy costs. What do we get? $2,700 annual energy cost increase per household over the next 10 years, right? They said that about healthcare, right? Like, all the policies that they pursue, real issues, right? Healthcare costs are too high. They promise big things. They passed their landmark healthcare legislation. Premiums have never been higher. So every single time the Democrats have proposed something, they claim it's going to do one thing and it does the opposite, right? And then the question is like, okay, well, they can't be that evil. Like, they're not trying to pass all these policies to make our lives worse. And I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that's not their intention, right? But their intention is to do any means necessary to accomplish their broader worldview, which is that we need a larger, more intrusive government, right? Because they believe that that is good for the people, right? And so if they have to, raise energy costs to do it, they'll do it, right? Because that'll help them regulate the market more. If they have to blow up health insurance and private health insurance to get to a single payer system, which causes everybody to suffer, they will do it because the end justifies the means. And similarly, with Mop Up Michigan, right, they claim it's going to do one thing. It has nothing to do with utility companies. It doesn't. But their ultimate goal is they're trying to limit the ability for Republicans, their political opposition, to compete. Why? Not because they're evil, right? It's because they believe that that's what's best for society, and they will do whatever they need to do to accomplish that goal. And it's not conspiratorial. I mean, everybody talks all the time about how they don't trust politicians, and like, lots of mistrust to go around on the Republican and Democrat side, right? It's not a partisan. Distrust in politicians and bad politicians is not a party exclusive quality,
Some would
right?
say it's prudent.
Yeah, right, exactly, right.
You talked a little bit about who's backing Mop Up Michigan and how they say that they're an effort to clean up utility companies and clean up dark money. Can you talk a little bit about who's actually behind Mop Up Michigan?
I mean, it's dark money. That's the joke, right? Like they're anti dark money and they're funded by dark money. Like if there's any good, like if you have a bull meter, right? That should be set off alarm bells, right?
Yeah.
But I jokingly say I don't know, right? But at the end of the day, that is what it is, right? They have all of these other outside groups who you can't trace back where the money's coming from, who's funding it. We do know some of it, right? Like Soros and all of those other folks. And it's not a conspiracy. Look, they have contributed to these efforts, but the amount of money pouring into these efforts, we can't track it. It's literally dark money. And so are they really that altruistic? We are going to use dark money to ban dark money. Trust us, right? Yeah. It's bull.
I mean, I think I saw a report that of their total contributions, more than 80% of it was from dark money sources.
Yeah, there you go. But I'm sure it's, again, purely altruistic. They want to take their own power away from them, right? No, that's why they have carve-outs in this thing, to make sure that their dark money continues to flow, but the Republican dark money, that'll be the stuff that stops, right? They don't even say that, though. They just talk about the utility companies, right?
Right.
Who, again, the utility companies, and there's a lot of criticism to have there, but let's just talk about objectively, without opinion, how this works, right? They do have organizations that they use to engage with in politics, right? And they may give money to members of the legislature and different things like that. The legislature does not vote on energy rates, okay? It's a unelected board of bureaucrats that's appointed by the governor that has continuously voted to increase rates. Sometimes they will increase a rate and then a week later they will come back, ask for a rate increase, and that board will do that again, right? This is not a dark money problem if your concern is energy costs, right? That's a unelected board of bureaucrats that are enabling these corporations to gouge. And it's also a policy problem. The Democrats voted for a Green New Deal in 2022. We have sourcing on this. Don't take my word for it. $2,700 a year annually. It's going to increase because of the regulatory environment that they created, the mandates on unreliable energy that cannot support our grid and our energy needs, right? Those have increased the costs. And what do the Democrats say? Oh, sign this Mop Up Michigan thing and we'll lower energy costs. And by the way, I say that line, we've heard that from signature gatherers. We have a video you can find online. Somebody sent into us, right, of going up and saying, hey, I heard if I sign this petition or I vote for Mop Up Michigan, it'll lower my energy costs. And the guy goes, yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And just to be clear, that's a lie.
That's a complete lie. It's a complete lie. It has nothing to do with energy rates, right? It's actually a really terrible loophole in Michigan's laws. You're actually legally allowed to lie to people to extract a signature, right? And the funny thing is, even our CEO, Ronna McDaniel, I don't know if she was visiting someone or at a game, but she was in Ann Arbor and was talking to a signature gatherer, and they said the same thing to her. It's not an isolated experience. We have, somebody, Ronna McDaniel, who obviously has a background in partisan politics, right, has seen this firsthand. Okay, I understand if people say, well, I'm not going to take her word for it, even though, we know Ronna, we know how honest and great she is. And I'm not just saying that. She is. She's awesome, right? They send these videos into us, and these are different location, different person, different time, same lie. And so
what should Michiganders do if they encounter one of these signature gatherers for MMOP?
Well, you should be nice because, political work, a lot of these people are not partisan. They're just doing it for a quick buck to try to get signatures. They don't actually believe in this stuff, right? They're just doing what they're told. So be nice. But I would say that you should certainly not sign it because they're being dishonest about what this actually does. And again, it rigs the rules. And even if you don't like Republicans, you should never enable rule rigging, right? It's the antithesis to the society that we want to have in America and the political environment we want to have. So you should politely decline. But frankly, I would take those experiences and I would go to every single person and give them the same warning. It's not enough to just not sign because the threshold to get these things on the ballot are quite high, but when you have dark money backing these things, bottomless funding, right? They will pay as many people as possible to go out and get those signatures. And again, they can legally lie to people. They could say, sign this thing and you'll prevent puppies from dying. And that's legal to say that to somebody. So you shouldn't sign, and you should be taking more action to make sure your friends, family, colleagues don't sign it as well. That's what I would say.
You could have just said decline to sign.
You know what, Gabe? This is a long-form podcast. You want long-form answers. I'm aware that I talk a lot, people, but I do love the conversation. I mean, listen, the thing is that we rarely get the opportunity to sit down and actually have like conversations. How often do you see videos? I mean, hell, we put out some of these videos, right, where they're more scripted, and it's not because we're being, dishonest. It's because we talk about the people get the government they deserve, right? People don't want, in some cases, to spend time watching things, but then they complain about, well, that didn't seem genuine or that was very scripted. It's like, okay, here's the unvarnished, candid view of it. All right, Mop Up Michigan is bull. They are not trying to get dark money out of politics. They're being funded by dark money, which should be a red flag to you. It's not going to lower your utility rates, right? It's not really going to take on the utility companies in the way that people understandably want to take them on, right? It's not going to do any of that. All it is, and again, this is an issue that both sides deal with, is an attempt by one side to pull one over on the voters, right? To rig the rules to make it easier for their side to win. And we as voters, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, should reject that every opportunity we get. And if you don't reject it, then you don't have a right to complain. I'll be very candid. People who allow these things to happen and then are the first people to complain about how broken our system is, they're the enablers, right? So decline to sign for sure, but there's more to it than that. And I think people should take the time to know why.
Cool.
What's the best way that people can take the time to know? Like, are you suggesting...
Watch this podcast. Stay tuned to our channels.
Follow Michigan Forward.
Follow Michigan Forward.
But like, or just in general, like, what recommendations do you have to? Because I mean, like, this kind of goes back to the conversation about, they're lying to voters explicitly. They say that they care so much about it's a threat to democracy, and yet they're literally trying to rig the system in their favor. So in what way can voters kind of combat that? Obviously, say stay informed. What do you recommend is the best way to stay informed for voters? What can they do in their personal lives?
Well, I think it depends on the issue, right? On an issue like this, it is difficult because this is a literal election issue, right? So you have partisan figures on both ends of this talking about it. But what I would say is the best defense is a good offense, right? The more you know about how the system actually works, the more your own radar calling BS on things will go off. So I gave this example a number of times, but I think this is the most relevant to this, right? If you know how rates are decided in Michigan, right? Unelected bureaucratic board appointed by the governor. They're the ones who increase your rates, right? The companies go to them and request the rate increases, but they're the ones who approve it, right? Then you start to question, well, okay, their political giving, even if I don't like it, what is that going to do to really lower my rates? And the answer is nothing, right? Okay, so then why are the people that are selling this Mop Up Michigan to me lying to me about what this does, how it works, right? And then you start to have to draw connections. But I really think that there are groups like ours, and obviously shameless plug, but we obviously believe in what we do, and we always strive to tell the truth, and we have our worldview on things. But I think channels like ours are definitely helpful to find the information that you need. But people have to take it upon themselves to understand things and how things work. And I'll come back to it again. You get the government you deserve. If you choose to be uninformed about these things, and I know people are like, yeah, but there's no good place to find the news. You can look up, Google, how does Michigan determine rate increases, and you will find the system written in law process for how to do that, right? That is not a biased opinion. That is the truth, right? Which was so elusive these days. And so I think the best way is to just stay informed about how it all works, right? This is not. I almost feel like there's an attitude in politics to paint people who know how things works as like conspiratorial, because you sound like a conspiracy theorist. Well, actually, the rate increases. It's this unelected board of bureaucrats, and they're all partisan hacks, and they're appointed by the governor who's married to so. Yeah, but the reality is that is how it works, right? And it's not conspiratorial. And so I think that people need to take it upon themselves to do that and reject those who say, if you're informed about how it works, that you're somehow a conspiracy theorist or things like that.
Sounds like you kind of resent the voters a little bit, Mike.
I don't resent the voters. I actually, you know what it is? And keep this in. I'm dead serious, because I think that's a good point. I don't. I actually look at it from this perspective. Every single person in their life has their passions, right? Some people are passionate about politics. Some people are very religious, like I'm very religious, right? But regardless, some people are just like into sports, right? Who are you most critical of? The people that you're against, or the people that that are misrepresenting your values, right? Like, I am a voter. I am guilty of this. I hold my fellow voters, which in this case is everybody, right? That's a legal registered voting citizen of the United States of America. I hold them to a higher standard because I have to hold myself to a higher standard. If I went into church and my pastor was preaching about something that I agree with fundamentally, but the way in which he was preaching about it was off-putting, is going to lead people away from, my belief system. It's my responsibility to hold that person accountable. It's not because I hate Christians or hate my pastor, right? It's the opposite. It's coming from a deep sense of love for my community and for the system that we have. And I think that voters need to bear the weight of the responsibility that they have better. And that's something I need to do better. You need to do better. All of us need to do better, right? How often is it easy? I mean, we do this all the time. If Republicans get a win, sometimes it's not in the way that we would have liked it, but hey, it was a win for our guys. We should probably hold them accountable for it, right? So no, I don't resent the voters. I just think that people need a reality check on the role that they have in this system and the consequences, most importantly, for if they don't bear that weight well, This is great coffee, Gabe. You make it?
The mug is empty, Mike.
You know what? This is movie magic. You're not supposed to reveal it to people, Gabe. What? Next, you're going to tell me this plant is fake.
No, the plant is real.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was. Okay.
Also,
That was sarcasm for liability purposes.
Independent Redistricting Commission, voters not politicians, used all of their leftover money and gave it to mop up Michigan. So it's like double dark money.
Double dark money.
It's dark money inception.
Ooh, I like that. Double dark money. Usually like double dark chocolate or double chocolate fudge brownie. Like these are all double or is usually good. This is the bad kind of double.
Yeah. But it's alliterative, so it's fun.
Yeah. Comms.
It's like
Double dark donations. Double dark money donations.
Say that 3 times.
No.
Double dark money. Wait, what was the 3 words? Double dark money.
Double dark money donations.
Double dark money donate.
Double dark money donations.
Double dark money donations. That's a tough one.
If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and ring the notification bell so you don't miss future episodes where we talk all things Michigan politics.